Hey everyone. So I feel like I've come a long way from my early favorite bottles, such as Buffalo Trace, Maker's Mark, and some others. That's where I really started earlier on in my bourbon journey. Really was a Buffalo Trace fan. When I can get it for $28 to $32, Maker's Mark and some others. And since then, over the time of my roughly 2.5 years doing what I do here on TikTok and Facebook. Before that, I have got into higher rye bourbons, found myself really liking, wheated bourbons, recently toasted bourbons and even cigar blends and just a whole bunch of, wider expansion of my palate and I think maturation of my palate. But I'm wondering now, if I was to come back to a bottle like this, how would I feel about it? Really liked it in the beginning, and then it kind of like went out of my way not to purchase this for two reasons. First of all, again, I thought my palate expanded, and also couldn't even find this for a normal price. Initially, $28 to $32 was my, the price I can get it in New Jersey, and that was several years ago. And then it just went crazy. You just don't see it, or it's like $45. It started for $70 something dollars. And then this is a few months. It's been sitting around here a few months. And Wegmans one day, they just had this behind the counter, ironically, for $32. And I'm like, you know what? I'll hold this. I'm going to get it for $32. I'll have it sitting around for a time that I want to open it. And I think now is that time. So at $32, I thought, you know what? That's fair. You just don't see it. Sometimes you see it. It's kind of cute the way a lot of stores do this. They'll have one bottle on the shelf, but there's no price under it. So it's not going to be, it's probably a normal price. Or when they do, it's just, I've seen it 45, a bunch of stores. And I saw one for $70 something dollars. So when I saw this, I said, I'm going to buy it, hold it. And now I think I'll come back to it. What do I think about it after all this time? Let's see. Always has been a good cork pop. I always remember that. So, let's try this 90 proofer out and see if my taste has matured so much that I just don't like it anymore, or coming back to it after a long time. Maybe it's refreshing. Let's see. Well, that's a classic nose. It is such a traditional nose of your. This is probably one of these bottles that's probably really good for someone starting out in bourbon. It's got everything of a classic bourbon smell. You got your. It's like vanilla caramel, maybe a little bit of orange. It's really, really nice. Cheers. And right there on the palate, exactly what's on the nose translates onto the palate. Vanilla caramel. I do get a little bit of orange zest. That's something I didn't get when I first initially had it. Oak, but it's a easy drinker. You know what? I'm not saying that this is the best bottle, on my shelf for what I've had, but having not had it in a while, I do appreciate this. Now, that being said, just as I've had this bottle sitting around, I do have a couple of other bottles that I will rediscover again against this, just to kind of see if things are still the same. One of them is Eagle Rare. Got that at the Sazerac House in New Orleans when I was there with my wife a few months ago. And I got that for a very normal price of, I think it was $40 something. So just about 40. So that's fine. And then I also have the Buffalo Trace kosher rye recipe, which I feel in the past when I blended it against this, I felt that was better. It's a 94 proof. So I think in line of those things coming up, it's time to kind of go here and then go to the others. But right now, interesting. So in summary, it's still good to me. And even though I've gotten, the other thing that I've gotten into is higher proof pours and cast strength pours. But the one thing I didn't lose is that I still like coming back at times to lower proof bottles. It's not like, as low proof as an 80 proof. It's still 90 proof. But I like coming back to lower proof pours. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for the high proofs and cast strengths. And sometimes I just want this. When I want this, there's not too many better for when you get it for the normal price in that range or less. I think it's a good classic bourbon, even for someone who's experienced, but certainly for people who are beginning bourbon. So coming back to this again after all this time, maybe it's good that I did wait so much time, and I can still appreciate that. Even though I've expanded to so many different types of bourbons and whiskeys, this one still is enjoyable. Cheers.